From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA.
Welcome back, everybody. Last week, we honored the fallen. And our generation here, we could say the generation that remembered 9/11. But the young ones today may be remembering them as the generation of COVID-19. And never forget, each time we have a tragedy, we learn from it. And it is so sad. I will tell you why it's so sad. I saw the president and also Mr. Joe Biden, our former vice president, standing together at the memorial and said that we need to get along for the sake of the nation to come together in the memory of 9/11. To me, that's such an insult because you just want to get along just for 9/11? To honor the people that have died, innocent people? And you cannot get along, and the next few hours later, you bash each other again? That is so sad. So you know who you are. You know who you are. Unfortunately, as politicians, they say we don't know who your true color is. I'm not afraid to tell you, if you cannot stand on one position and you wait until what is more popular, then you went along with that position, you shouldn't be a leader. You know who you are. A true leader does not care at that moment whether they're popular or not. A true leader leads with conviction. They believe, especially for this country, a beacon of light in freedom. They believe in honoring God as a nation under God. They believe in life, including the unborn. They have conviction. They don't just hear what people say and what's popular at the moment. So if you can get along for one day for 9/11, I don't see why you guys cannot practice that in the Congress and in the Senate. Then I'm going to talk about California a little bit. All these things about taking down the governor. Mr. Governor, do you know really what the people are going through right now by getting locked down all the time? Children are suffering in the home. They need to be in school. I understand safety is important, but don't underestimate that we American people are not ignorant. We do care about our health. And now with the weather and the fire going on out there, you want us all to just be outside eating. We don't allow us to be inside. These small businesses, this is all their livelihood. America is made out of small businesses. Come on now, think about that. They don't live in luxury mansion like you. So I'm going to stop right there because I have a very important guest just to tell you this is what America is about. You can be anything you want to be. His name is Antonio with the Fresno Savage. And this is a man whose life had turned around, like me, from a near-death experience. So Antonio, I want to welcome you.
Yes.
And thank you for coming here.
No, I appreciate the invitation.
And I'm without any time wasted because we have 20 minutes, right? Let me ask you, what brought you to start this Fresno Savage rap group? And what is the message and what got you to that? And I know you wanted to share with the audience what your life's been like.
Definitely. As far as starting this Fresno Savage movement, it's always been a challenge for me. It's always been something that I've done to test myself because growing up, I was in a lot of disability classes, special education classes. I always had a problem reading, writing, and stuff like that. So I've always tried to. It bothered me a lot. It bothered me a lot. Put me in a lot of positions where I was criticized by by other students and stuff like that. So it was something that really bugged me. So it was something I always felt like I had to attack. So doing music was really me facing my fears. Was me forcing myself to write, forcing myself to sit there and be creative and create. And eventually it became something that I used to watch people draw good. I used to watch people play football, and I would always wonder, what did I do good? And it was something that I had figured out and learned that I was good at, and it built me. It built me. I actually faced something that was really would cripple me at times, and it turned into something that.
So in other words, you don't allow your disability to become like
Oh,
a victim.
No.
So you build it up out of that.
Definitely.
Excellent.
Definitely created. That's where it has came from, and it's not for me. Like I've said before, it's the way that I've been able to express myself to people, and people can relate to what I've been through.
That's very good.
Definitely, as far as the life and things that I've been through growing up, and even the things that I'm going through now. So.
Okay, and so also as we were coming here too, you did tell me about your almost life and death experience, and
Yes.
that's what makes you really believe that there is a God
Yes.
that is in charge of our lives. Can you share that a little bit?
Yes, definitely. August 5th, 2019, me and my wife were hit by a woman running a red light. We were driving out of our driveway, driving onto Herndon. A lady was doing about 60 miles an hour, slammed right into T-boned me, hit my side directly. And I literally had an out-of-body experience. I really had an out-of-body experience. I was out of my body, looking at myself, giving myself instructions to survive. I wasn't floating above, like I've heard a lot of people say they're floating, they're looking down on themselves. I was more kneeling down, looking at myself, telling myself my lungs were punctured, my ribs were broken, I had a traumatic brain injury. But a couple years back, I had took a CPR class, and when you take your CPR class, not only do they teach you how to do CPRs, but they give you other directions on if you have a punctured lung and different things. So as I was looking at myself, I was telling myself how to lay so the blood wouldn't fill my lungs and would fall out from my mouth. I was coaching myself, literally looking at myself.
Wow.
And so I definitely believe we have a soul. I know we have a soul from my standpoint. And a lot of people, and I don't mind. I hope this don't get taken the wrong way, because I get this question a lot.
Of course.
Was God there with you? Did you see God? And when I say this, I think a lot of people take this the wrong way, and I'll explain myself why. I think at that moment, I didn't feel God there with me. And when I say that, I feel God had already given me everything I needed to survive
Exactly.
at
He
that
gave you the
moment.
tools.
Throughout my whole life, I feel like I have been preparing my whole life, everything I've done for this exact moment. When I seen that Jeep hitting me and it hit me, and I was laying on the floor, I told myself, okay, it's time. It's time.
It woke you up.
I was fighting for my life, literally. I was literally fighting for my life, but I wasn't panicking. I knew I had everything I needed. I wasn't gonna
That's funny you said you didn't panic, right? That's what happened to me too. I didn't panic. When that happens, I didn't panic either. It's almost like I knew the same thing, the same experience. Go ahead.
And I was fighting for my life. I had a lot of injuries. I was injured very badly. For the first 3 days, I was in the hospital. I was in and out of, I was in a coma, but I was in and out because they were waking me up throughout my surgeries. And for the first 3 days, every time I would close my eyes, I would literally see my dead body in the mortuary. And it wasn't of something imaginary. It wasn't nothing like that. I would literally close my eyes and I could see my flesh body there. And those 3 days was the most time when I was really fighting for my life. So I kind of took that as a motivation. Like, if you can't regulate your breathing, my heart was moved 2 inches to the right.
Wow.
So it knocked my heart, and everything got pushed in my chest, so my heart stopped beating at some point. So, it was a conscious thought of breathing, of your heart beating. It was a situation for sure. But every time I would close my eyes, I would see my body there, and it was almost like it was an alternate reality that every time I would close, I could see myself there. But like I said, I definitely believe we have a soul because I was out of my body looking at myself, and you know, it was a real situation. It really was. And my wife, she got out of it. She was injured. She was injured bad too, but she was able to leave the hospital. And thank God none of my children were in the vehicle. But it was definitely an experience, and it definitely made me a lot more grateful for the people that I have in my life, to be here for them still,
Right.
to still experience all these beautiful things. I think back everything I would
We
have
took it
missed.
for granted.
Everything I would have missed. My son's birthday, my daughter. I'm going to be a grandfather.
It's a wake-up call.
You just appreciate things are just a little more sweeter. You know,
That's
things are just
exactly
a
what
little
I'm
more
saying.
sweet. Even in these ugly situations, even with this pandemic, even when we walk outside and I see this, you know, the sky, you know, I'm grateful what I do have. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful to be able to, you know, to just feed them any knowledge that I have while I'm still here, and it just feels good. It's a
So
good thing.
let me ask you, with the Fresno Savage rap group,
Mhm.
does that reflect your experience too, the message in the song?
I think that's definitely where that's where I'm building myself right now. I'm definitely trying to piece the message that I am trying to express with the music.
Very good, because I'm a musician myself.
Mhm.
I write music too,
Mhm.
but I play the keyboard. Music has a lot of power,
You know what?
and art too.
I'm gonna be rapping and doing music when I'm 80 years old if I'm lucky, because I don't do it for a lot of reasons other people do.
Well,
It's,
explain that, yeah. That's important, because a lot of young people,
you know, and I
yeah,
think a lot of
need
young
to be
people
aware of it.
um, gravitate to this, because I think it's a lot of, even though I'm older, I'm getting older, a lot of younger people gravitate to me because I feel that you know, I'm definitely am growing. I'm definitely trying to find the proper way to express myself, and I definitely feel that they gravitate to me because they understand, you know, the realistic message that I'm trying to present, for sure.
In this generation,
Yeah,
especially when
yeah.
everything they see is so negative.
It definitely
But you know what
is.
is surprising? I brought quite a few young people here.
Mhm.
They're all rapping.
Mhm.
This message is going to help them, because I'm going to make sure that they contact you,
Mhm.
guide them along to do it for positive reason.
No,
Because
definitely.
music carries a lot, and so does art.
No, definitely does.
You know, and
And
everybody may have a long perspective about rappers, this and that. No, I think music and art expresses within ourselves our spiritual self that's hard to talk about sometimes.
And a lot of people growing up in this rough life that they've grown up to, it's almost impossible to express yourself. You know,
Exactly.
that's the way you survive, by not showing your emotions. So that was what music was always for me. You know, for a long time when I was real young, I was angry. I was just angry, and then now I look back, I don't know why. I don't know why I was so angry, but it was just I wasn't able to express myself, and a lot of that builds up on you. So that's why I love music, and I think that's why people gravitate to my music, because they realize that
Especially
I'm
the
really
young people, they
expressing
can
myself.
relate to you.
If I don't do my music, if I don't go to the studio or rap or freestyle, I'm grumpy. It's the only way I can express myself and you know, share what I'm trying to say. I can't speak. It's hard for me to speak to people. It really is.
You speak through the music.
That's the only way
That's
and
excellent. Some people speak through the artwork.
a lot,
You know,
and that's
a
what
lot
it
of
is. That's the beauty of art, and that's the universal beauty of art, because it expands throughout cultures and times and different, you know, levels of society. You know, art's art. So it's a beautiful thing, and I think that's the way that we can get past through a lot of stuff that we're going through right now.
We're going to take a little short break, and we're going to continue this conversation, okay?
With Organic Pastures Raw Milk, you're getting a product that has been meticulously managed from grass to glass. From our pastures to our dairy, creamery, and distribution, we work hard to produce a product that is safe and clean for you.
Got lactose intolerance or dairy allergies? Discover delicious raw milk and discover dairy the way it's supposed to be. We provide tours and would love to see you. Come visit the cows, watch the milking, the cheese being made, and learn all about raw milk. We're just 20 miles south and west of Fresno, California. Call to schedule a tour at 559-846-9732.